Welcome to Discover Inclusion's training for parents and guardians. In this video, we will be looking at aided language boards and visual communication. By the end of this video, you will understand the basics of using an aided language board and how to implement it with your child, alongside your school or other professionals. Please note, I am not a medical professional. All information provided is from research and my own experiences working with children with special educational needs. The first question to answer is, what is an aided language board? They can be physical or digital, but the idea is to use images to represent the words to make space for communication. They can be used with children, young people or adults who are non-verbal or verbal. By pointing at the images, you can create a sentence to communicate wants and needs. The contents of a board may be grouped by meaning or colour coordinated to match with topic or grammar. They can also be made to represent any activity. For example, Discover Inclusion starts with a core board, but then has boards specific to a playground, getting the train or going swimming. As I mentioned, the aim of an aided language board is to communicate. In their simplest form, you may use a board to request a snack or specific activity. But as they become more complex and contain wider vocabulary, they can be used to hold a full conversation. Aided language boards are often introduced to young children with language development disorders, often if they're non-verbal or only use a small selection of oral language. A board is used by pointing at an image or selecting it on a screen to say the word. In these images, you can see the use of a 20 square board to request a snack and a 50 square board to request playing a game. The final image is using a digital communication board on a phone to request the alphabet song whilst doing a puzzle. Each of these children may be using a single word to make their request, or string it to other words to create a short sentence. Digital communication, or AAC, Augmentative Alternative Communication, is simply the use of a series of aided language boards on a digital platform. Here are some examples of AAC apps. If it's something you are interested in for your child, or your child's speech and language therapist has suggested, you should look at all of the options available. They have a variety of image types and organisation systems. Many of these apps also have a free trial period to experiment with, so you can find one that suits your child best. Twinkle Symbols is a free app that can be downloaded on the iOS App Store or Google Play Store. When introducing an aided language board, you should always start simple. The language needs to be accessible and can be increased as your child gains confidence. Language expansion will be explained on the next slide. Starting simple means using single words that convey meaning, repeating the same words, and using them in multiple different situations to ensure understanding and engagement. It is also helpful to start with words that can be linked to an activity or action. For example, using more to request more food or drink, using again to get something repeated, or go to start an action. When you first introduce the board, all you do is model what you want your child to do. For example, pointing at more and saying the word twice or 3 times, and then giving your child more of their snack. With time, they'll pick up the meaning of pointing at the board, and you can give them time to have a go themselves. At no point should you be forcing their hand to point at the word. However, they may enjoy using your hand to point at words. To start using an aided language board, it's best to only start using single words. This could be 2 or 3 single words for different situations. Once your child is able to confidently use the single words, you can add to them to create a sentence. For example, starting with more and then saying eat more. Each time you say a word, you should also point to the matching image on the board. When your child is using over half the board confidently, you can move to a board with more images. You can see the pack of core boards we have includes 3 boards with 8, 20 and 50 squares. Thank you for watching this video on aided language boards. Hopefully, the information and techniques will help you understand what aided language boards are and how and why they are used. Should you decide to start using an aided language board or AAC app, you should talk to the professionals who know your child, such as their teacher, Senko, or speech and language therapist, as they will have a better insight into what will give your child the best start. If you've got any questions, write them in an email and send them to me whenever you have a chance.